Hey nigga, I'm a gangster. What the fuck do you mean, bro? You're not a gangster? Hey nigga, I'm a gangster. Yeah. What do you think? Hey, let me give you a short story. I might not be a gangster, I'm a law abiding citizen, but sometimes when I analyze my thought patterns and just how I move in crowds, I think I have the mindset of a gangster. So, short story. I just moved schools. In my old school, I was a drug user. I knew the drug lords. I smoked with them, and sometimes they gave me these drugs for free because they knew me well. But now I was in a new environment, and I didn't know anyone here. I didn't know where to get drugs or anything, and I was afraid to ask because you might ask someone and they're just an undercover cop. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I decided to just stick to cigarettes and everything. But my mindset, as I told you, it's a subconscious thing, the gangster mindset. Wherever I choose to smoke my cigarettes, just happen to be where the drug lords of this new area used to hang out. So I'm smoking my cigarettes. I don't know who is around me. Smoke the first one, the second one. Then a guy comes and tells me, can I get a half life? Like, what the hell is a half life? It's like, once you're done smoking, leave a small piece for me. I'm like, okay, cool. So I gave him my cigarette after smoking it for a while. Then I waited like 20 more minutes. Then I got another cigarette out of my pocket, started smoking. Halfway through, he's like, can you give me half life? Like, okay, you can have it. And I do this for several days, like a week or two. And then this guy just one day told me, do you want something stronger than this? I'm like, what the fuck do you mean something stronger than this? You have some more expensive cigarettes. It's like, no, no, I'm not talking about cigarettes. Something powerful. So I kind of get what he's saying, but no, I don't want to be that guy who makes conclusions. It's like, I don't understand. It's like, okay, come with me, I'll show you. So I walk with him. I don't even know him. I've only seen him for a couple weeks as I give him my cigarettes. It's like, follow me. So we go to the back of a container. There are containers there. And he takes out something from his pocket and, you know, lights it up and takes a puff. Then blows the smoke out onto my face. I know that smell. And that's a wonderful smell. I'm not romanticizing drug use. Please, if you're a drug user, seek medical attention immediately. Addiction is a disease. But let me get back to my story. So I smell it and I'm like, I like this smell. I know this smell very well. It is a smell of weed. And mind you, we're in Kenya. I don't know where you're watching this from, but we're in Kenya and it's illegal. I mean, even though smoking it is illegal, but people don't just uh, tell you to come and smoke with them. I was like, do you want to take a hit? I'm like, cool, yeah, I'll take a hit. And that's where the problem comes in. That's why I'm saying my mindset is fucked up. Because the first thing I think is not, this is wrong, this is illegal, this could land you in jail, big fines. That's not the first thing that comes to mind. The first thing that came to mind is like, oh, this is one of my people. And that's how I used to treat all weed smokers a while back. Like they were my people who understood me. So I took a hit and, it went into my brain and my body and, it gives you these illusions. You start seeing things, hearing things, smelling things, tasting things if you're eating, gives you appetite and all that. I smoked one puff, two puffs, passed it back to him. smoked a couple, passed it back to me. And this became a routine. Every day he'd ask me, "Do you want to take a hit?" Then a few days later, he comes in and he's like, "You need to do today. I'm short on cash, so I can't actually go buy, our regular stuff for me and you. Would you mind lending me some cash?" By lending, I mean giving. He was not going to pay back because we were smoking together. So yeah, I told him, yeah, okay. I gave him some amount of money, and he went and got it. And today he was very excited. I gave him a bit more than it cost, so he actually got a bigger blunt. So he was very excited. Called me to the back as usual, and we smoked and got high and all that. He knows all the cracks and crevices where the cops don't get through. So we smoke and everything, and every day it became normal. Sometimes I found him with the blunts themselves. As I told you, he was maybe I haven't told you, he was one of the drug lords, but he wasn't selling it for himself. He was like a contractor, not a contractor. He had been contracted by someone to sell on on his behalf. So this other day he comes and tells me, I have like 10 of them here, but I'm selling them for someone. If you have some money, I can take the money and then we can smoke one of them, and it's cheaper because you know I get a cut from this. So I'm like, this is great. It's cheaper and I get to get just as I. So I give him the money and we smoke. Then today he's like, can you smoke another one? I'm completely high. I'm completely lost. So he's like, can you smoke another? We usually smoke one big one. Like, yes, we can smoke another one, just a little bit more money. So I gave him this amount of money. And it was gone. We smoked again. We went were so high and everything. Then this continued on for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. I pay him, he gets one, and we smoke together, or I buy from his contractor. So after a while, he introduced me to the person who contracted him to sell his stuff. The kingpin himself, who doesn't sell anything, just gives to random people who sell and then bring in profits. And this guy was like, as a welcome, he gave me two large blunts. That was a welcome into the group. Then obviously he gave this now friend of mine a lot more to sell, and also gave him an extra one just to for his own use. People care for each other, if you would call that care. So this day we smoke like three. We smoke like three. But then after a couple months, things changed. This guy is like, I have a business plan for you. This friend who works for this other drug lord, who is, I guess, also a drug lord, like, I have a plan. I know the source. I know where my contractor gets this weed from. So we can do something. We can buy it in wholesale. Huh? So if you have several thousand Kenya shillings, then we can go get it directly from the source, and then it will be like 70% cheaper, which means we can sell them, get a profit, and then we can smoke the profit, and then leave. What we smoke the profit, and then the remaining amount we use it to buy the next batch, sell it, smoke the profit, and then use that the remaining amount of money to buy a new batch every time. So in short, we will be smoking for free. Do you get the business idea I got around here? It's a great business idea. I just need an initial investment of several thousands, but then after that, it's smoking for free for the rest of our lives, as long as we can sell this. And he was an expert at selling these things. He was used to it. So I was like, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, spending our money every day for this does not sound very smart. And so we did. He took me to the dealer, some shady place where I think they were selling charcoal. You wouldn't even know there was anything going on around there. It's like, send your money to this number, then come back here tomorrow at exactly 4 p.m. It's like, how do I just send money to someone who I have never met before? How sure am I that they're going to bring the product tomorrow? But this guy was a seasoned gangster, and in this business, it's like, just send it to them. So I send the money via M-Pesa. Then tomorrow I go with him to the same place. And this guy is waiting for me. Our goodies are already packed and everything. So we take it, hide it, and then we go. Then he directs me to another store where we buy the, what do you call it, the rolling paper. We buy that, and he knows how to roll perfectly. He knows how to make the blunts look big in such a way that it's thinner where you are smoking from and wider, so it looks bigger. So it gives this illusion that the blunt is bigger than it is, which makes people want to buy from him more. He has all the business tactics. So he goes back to his house, rolls all the blunts nicely, and then comes back to his normal spot. People who smoke know where he sits, and they know all the code words to use without saying they are buying weed. I had it called Mali, or the other names used, or Shash or anything like that. Although police now know names like Shash and everything, so they avoid those names. People come and buy, and then we smoke too every day for free, man. And then one day he's like, I want to sleep today early. Can you help me sell some of these? And for all this time, I was just the one buying, and then he rolls them and sells them, and then we smoke for free, the profit, and then buy more. But it's like, I'm sleeping early to sell some of this for me. And this is when I got inducted into the business, man. The business of selling within 2 months. I went from someone who doesn't know anyone here to a regular smoker who knows where the gangsters hang around and smoke and sell, to being the one who is selling right now. I don't think I was thinking of the future. Smoking marijuana is one thing to the police. Selling it is a completely different thing. The government takes those two offenses very separately. One is innocent, the other one is the perpetrator of all the problems in this world. But again, the perpetrator of the problem is also another addict. So I don't know how to see that. Personally, I don't think these people are criminals. Or maybe that's my deluded mind or something like that. So that's how I started selling drugs myself. I was caught by the police once. The guy was caught fast. As we were walking, he was this. It's like he was so used to doing these things. They were normal to him. So he was smoking the weed on the street, on the road, like the main road. And then the police happened to just be walking by, and they could smell it. So they walk up to him and they're like, "Oh, like, unafanya nini?" Like, normal Kenyan police. How dare you smoke right in front of us? This guy doesn't say anything. They handcuff him, and then they walk with him to the police station. I'm like, I need to help out this guy. I need to help him out. So I follow the police and try to negotiate for his release. I'm just saying he's a friend, he has a lot of problems and he's stressed out and everything. So please release him. The police don't release him, but they go away. I feel like they listened to what I was saying, so they released him afterwards. And then after he tells me, please, when you see the police, I just let them pick me. I know how to deal with them. I was like, what? You know how to really deal with them for sure. Not even the police are a threat. And he was not a guy who was rich or anything like that. So he's not a guy who can fork out some cash for the police. So I guess police just release him when they realize, there is nothing much to gain from this guy. But anyway, that was the other story. Some other time, there was a place where he liked smoking at, and the owner of the business knew what was going on. And he says, "You are scaring away my customers when they see people smoking weed around here. Don't smoke." But he likes smoking there. So I think one of the day, the owner of the shop called the police on us, and they came. And now I was the one smoking when they caught us. I thought I was doomed, man. I thought this was over. But yeah, the police released me for some reason. I had a small talk with them and they released me. But yeah, it happened. That's how bad my decisions are. Thank you for watching.